everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to read Sleeping Beauty and Buttercup the Brave. Okay, let's start reading. Which horse would you like to ride today? A stable groom asked Princess Aurora one morning. Aurora looked around the royal stable. There were so many horses. It was always hard to choose. But the most fine Palomino caught Aurora's eyes. He was the most beautiful creature she has ever seen. Aurora rode the former war horse around the palace courtyard. The horse marched as confidently as if he were the king himself. Suddenly, the prince had an idea. From now, I think I'd like to ride the same horse every day, she said. What a wonderful idea, Prince Philip agreed. You should have a horse of your own. What's the horse's name? Aurora asked. We call him Brutus, Your Highness, the groom replied. Oh no, Aurora exclaimed. That won't do at all. I think I'll call him Buttercup. Philip and the groom looked surprised. Are you sure? The prince asked. Aurora smiled. Do you like your new name, Buttercup? The horse snorted happily. Aurora rode Buttercup around the castle grounds. When the pages blew their trumpets as they rolled by, he didn't flinch. When a carriage rumbled past, he stood at attention. When Aurora asked him to jump over a stone wall, he cleared it effortlessly. The next day, Aurora decided to ride Buttercup out to the fairy's cottage. Why don't you let me saddle up Samson and come with you? Philip suggested, looking worried. Don't be silly, Aurora said with a laugh. I grew up with those woods, remember? Besides, I will be with Buttercup. He'll take care of me. Aurora and Buttercup pranced off, but the moment they entered the woods, Buttercup became a different horse. He began to walk slowly and looked around nervously. When some of Aurora's woodland friends appeared, Buttercup tried to run away. What's the matter, Buttercup? Aurora said. Why, there's nothing to be frightened of. He could hardly believe the change in her horse. He was even too afraid to step over a branch. When she asked him to walk through a forest stream, he nearly fainted. By the time she reached the cottage, Aurora was feeling a bit frustrated. How could a horse who was so brave at the palace be so timid in the woods? Flora, Fiona, and Merryweather hurried out of their cottage. Oh, what a beautiful pony, Merryweather exclaimed. Aurora sighed. He is beautiful, she said, but he seems to be afraid of everything in the woods. I'm just sure it will be all right, Flora said. You'll just need to be patient with him, that's all. Yes, dear, be patient, Merryweather agreed, but she sounded distracted. She moved closer to the horse. What shiny hooves he has, Fiona added. Thought he might look even nicer if his hooves were another color, Meriwether mused. Zap! She aimed her wand. Just like that, Buttercup's hooves turned blue. Look, they're blue. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, don't be silly, Flora exclaimed. A horse shouldn't have blue hooves. On the other hand, he might look pretty in pink. Zap! Buttercup's hooves returned to their normal color, but the rest of him turned pink. Quit that, Meriwether cried. Blue. Pink, Flora argued back. Zap, zap. As the two fairies argued, the horse changed from one color to the next. See? Purple, 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 purple. Because pink adding blue equals purple. Do you know that? Aurora watched her new horse change color. That didn't seem to bother him at all. But when a stray leaf fluttered down, he jumped and snorted as if it were a horse-eating dragon. What is she going to do? She didn't want to give up on him, but Buttercup was so perfect in every other way. Soon it was time to say goodbye to the fairies. Aurora did her best to ignore the way Buttercup hesitated every shadow on the trail home. She had been certain that Buttercup was the perfect horse for her. Now she wasn't so sure. Here's the leaf. Here's the horse-eating dragon that he thought. What? Suddenly, Buttercup stopped abruptly. What is it this time? Aurora asked with a sigh. Then she looked at Trailhead and gasped in horror. An enormous mountain lion was blocking their path. Aurora's heart pounded as she watched the creature creep closer. But if Buttercup would be scared by a bunny rabbit, he was certain to go crazy over a mountain lion. They were in big trouble with the mountain lion. To Aurora's surprise, Buttercup didn't panic or try to run. Instead, he stood proudly and puffed himself up to look even bigger than he was. He planted his hooves and snorted angrily at the mountain lion. Then he marched forward and struck out the lion with his front hooves. Aurora hung on. She was a little scared, but it seemed that Buttercup wasn't. Buttercup's lack of fear made Aurora feel braver. She reached out and grabbed a sturdy tree branch. Leave us alone, she yelled at the mountain lion, waving the branch, or else. Buttercup pawed the ground and added fierce snorts back of Aurora's words. When the mountain lion didn't budge, Buttercup leaped forward and pinned his tail to the ground with one hoof. Then Aurora reached out and gave the lion a smart rap on the nose of her branch. The lion let out an embarrassed yowl, then yanked its tail free and raced away. Aurora was pleased with herself and with her horse. Buttercup had been brave with it when it really counted. Come on, Buttercup, she said, giving him a pat. Let's go home. Buttercup snorted again proudly and pranced off. As Aurora and Buttercup neared the castle, a butterfly passed. Buttercup's eyes went wide, and he jumped in terror. Aurora stroked Buttercup's neck and talked to him in a soft voice, reminding him to stay calm. The butterfly fluttered closer and closer, and finally landed on his nose, which was only trembling a little. Good boy, she praised him. You know, Buttercup, I think we make a good team. And that's it. Thank you for listening, everyone. Make sure to subscribe. Bye. See you on my next video.